Sarah and David, a seemingly happy couple who have been married for 10 years. They have a picture-perfect life with a beautiful home, successful careers, and 2 children. Sarah, a homemaker, gave up her job to take care of their children while David, a successful businessman, provided for their family. Or so Sarah thought. One day, she received an anonymous call from a woman who claimed to be her husband's mistress. The woman revealed that she was pregnant with David's child and that their affair had been going on for the past 2 years. Sarah was devastated and confronted David, who initially denied everything but eventually admitted to the affair. The news of her husband's infidelity tore Sarah's world apart. She was heartbroken and angry. How could David do this to her and their children? She couldn't believe that after all these years together, he would betray their marriage like this. But what came next would leave her even more shocked. A few weeks after the confrontation, Sarah received a call from the hospital. The woman, David's mistress, had given birth prematurely and had passed away during childbirth. The baby, a beautiful little girl, was left without anyone to care for her. Sarah was the only one listed as the emergency contact, and the hospital was looking for someone to take the baby in. Sarah was unsure of what to do. After all, the baby was a product of her husband's affair. But something changed within her, and she couldn't turn her back on the innocent child. Without hesitation, Sarah went to the hospital and held the baby in her arms. She couldn't deny the instant connection she felt with the child. The baby had big, brown eyes just like hers and a little mop of dark hair. As she looked down at the baby, Sarah made a decision that would change the course of her life. She decided to take the baby in and raise her as her own to get back at her husband for his betrayal. Sarah knew that this was not a rational decision, but she couldn't resist the opportunity to make her husband suffer for his actions. She would show him that she didn't need him, that she was capable of taking care of herself and the baby without him. Sarah named the baby Grace, and she brought her home to her family. David was shocked and confused when he saw the baby, but Sarah refused to tell him the truth. She simply told him that she had decided to keep the baby and raise her as her own. David was relieved that he didn't have to explain this situation to his wife, but little did he know that Sarah's decision was a form of revenge. As days turned into weeks and months, Sarah became more attached to Grace. She loved her like her own child and couldn't imagine her life without her. Grace brought so much joy and happiness into their home, and Sarah's initial intentions of using her as a tool for revenge quickly faded away. As for David, he could see the love and bond that had formed between Sarah and Grace. He felt guilty for the pain he had caused his family, and he knew that he had to make things right. He apologized to Sarah and begged for her forgiveness. He also promised to end the affair and devote himself entirely to his family. Sarah could see the sincerity in his eyes, and she knew that she still loved him despite his mistake. With time, Sarah found it in her heart to forgive David. They went through counseling, and their marriage became stronger than ever. Grace had brought them back together, and they were grateful for her presence in their lives. As Grace grew older, Sarah decided to tell her the truth about her parents. Grace was taken aback but also felt grateful that Sarah had loved her and raised her as her own. She was proud to call Sarah her mother and was grateful to have been given a second chance at life. Years went by, and Sarah and David's marriage continued to thrive. Grace had grown into a beautiful young woman, and the family of 4 was closer than ever before. Sarah had turned a situation of heartache into one of love and forgiveness. She had found a way to heal not only her marriage but also her heart. In the end, Sarah's decision to keep Grace as her own was not an act of revenge but an act of love. She had opened her heart to the child and raised her with unconditional love, something that David was unable to give her in their relationship. The experience had taught Sarah to forgive, to love, and to never let go of what truly matters in life: family.